medical services within Mendocino County. And whereas by providing advanced life support, pre-hospital care, emergency medical transportation, Bob has made Mendocino County a healthier and safer county in which to live, visit, and travel. And whereas Bob's dedication and exceptional generosity to the county EMS system have remained constant and never faltered, and whereas Bob has always provided ambulance service in a crisis and for the long term when called upon by the county, regardless of reward. And whereas Bob's loyalty, commitment through the years to Mendocino County has made him a leader in emergency medical services field. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mendocino County Board of Supervisors hereby recognizes Robert Bob McAdoo for a lifetime of exceptional achievement in emergency medical services for Mendocino County. Dated this date and signed by this gentleman. And I would need a
Make a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And it is with great pride that I'd like to present this to Bob. We need a photo op.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And Ukiah Ambulance has been my lifelong dream, and serving Mendocino County has been my privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. And sure, please. One item of business first. Who was the second to the motion?
Supervisor Delbar.
Delaware?
No, I made the motion.
And Kendall was, yeah.
Kendall, okay. And I need to call for a vote. I know it's minutia, but all those in favor of the proclamation say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed. Passes unanimously, of course. Sam.
Yeah, I'd just like to personally thank Bob for all his generosity and work he's done in this county on behalf of the EMS agency. And although I've only known him for 2 years, I feel like we're old friends. We started in this business pretty much the same time, about 25, 26 years ago. And I'd like now to introduce Steve Francis, who was my predecessor here in Mendocino for many years. He and Bob are very good friends, and I know Steve has a couple of words to say, so thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Francis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. It's a pleasure to be back in front of you again. I really do miss this, so I appreciate the time you're giving me. I couldn't miss this opportunity. The proclamation that you just read pretty much said it all in our feelings, and telling the people and your understanding of each member of the board what Mr. McAdoo has done for this county. I don't think that there's some things that are well known, and I know he's embarrassed probably to be up here. He's been very humble through the years about this, but I'm going to take my shot while I got a chance. Mr. McAdoo started in September of 1994 in this county. He came in during a very tumultuous labor action on the previous owner of the ambulance company, and came into the EMS agency office and said, what can I do to make this right? And he has done it right for the 14 years that he's owned this operation. There's many things that aren't on that proclamation, such as in a moment's notice, 4 o'clock in the morning, calling him, telling him that there was an ambulance strike on the coast. He staffed it and covered it for 3 weeks without remuneration, without a question, just went over and did it. Before we got all the grants from the state and from local donations for AEDs, automatic external defibrillators for fire departments, every fire department that he was a participant with, or he served that area, he purchased them out of his own pocket and bought them. He raised the level of care across the board here many, many times. I offered many times to do a letter or a story in the paper, giving him credit for it, would refuse it. He's won from the EMS agency and the Emergency Medical Care Committee that's part of this board, the provider of the year or the paramedic of the year, and he's refused it. He says, no, volunteers need it more, and would give it to other people. I don't think that that is well known. The generosity of donating his used ambulances, if you will, have gone to many fire departments. They're in each of your districts. You see them, whether you know it or not, that they use these equipment, they get another life. The generosity has just been incredible. Again, without the accolades. We want to thank you very much for giving him the accolades here today. We're hoping that just the short 14 years that he's been a part of the system here and improved the system, we're looking for another 14 from him. We also have another presentation, a plaque that we did as well, that reads pretty much like what you just read, but in recognition of Bob McAdoo for a lifetime of achievement in emergency medical services, Mendocino County 2008, and we'd like to present this as well.
Please.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Good to see you again, too, Steve. Supervisor Delbert, comment.
Of course, Mr. Chairman. I think between the proclamation and Mr. Francis's comments really gives a picture of this gentleman. But Bob, I want to thank you as well, because I know that in my years of working with you, and no matter whatever anybody needed, whether it's the community needed or you were there, and selfishly were there, without a question. And your service to the Ukiah Valley Fire Department, as well as has it been mentioned, and the chiefs back here, and your commitment to this community and this county is unmeasurable. And on behalf of all of my constituents in this county that you serve, thank you so much for everything that you've done. This is so well deserved, and I can't thank you enough.
Chief.
Dan Griebel, Fire Chief with the Ukiah Valley Fire District. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for a proclamation on behalf of Bob McAdoo. Very well written. Steve Francis nailed it down. I just want to say I've had the opportunity to know Bob the 12 years I've been here at Ukiah Valley Fire District, and as Mr. Delmar mentioned, he served 8 years as an elected board member on the fire district. And Bob's the type of guy that no matter what we were doing, he was always there, what can I do? And he always was the first one to dig in his pocket to personally to benefit the fire districts in his entire service area. And it's my privilege to honor, to be here to honor Bob McAdoo as a true professional in EMS. Many times people ask me, why doesn't Ukiah Valley Fire District provide ambulance service? And as a government entity, when you have a private enterprise that does the professional job that he does, it's not even on our radar screen. And I encourage, like Steve said, 14 years, we're looking for 14 plus more of a private public partnership that we have with Ukiah Ambulance and the fire districts that he serves. And it's my privilege to recognize him not only as a professional he is, but as a personal friend. Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, I want you to know that without Bob McAdoo, Willits would not have an ambulance right now. And that's something that has been said today, and it's very, very important to me, and I appreciate what he's done. And I'm looking around at professionals who have been in emergency services for a long time, yourself included, Captain Cornegie, the chief. But I'm going to say this, in my opinion, in this room, there's not one person here who has assisted in saving more lives in Mendocino County than Bob McAdoo. So, Bob, thank you very much from Mendocino County.
I just want to add my thanks, Bob. Besides being a fellow Harley rider, you're one hell of a citizen in this county. And okay. The part of the proclamation that said you have